You can't be the best in the room. You can't be the one that knows everything. If you're the best in the room, you're no longer growing. Today, I want to talk about what I call the grounded leader. You're going to have to take notes. The grounded leader. And I came across this quote by John Quincy Adams. It says, if your actions inspire others, your actions, do they inspire others to dream more? Do they inspire others to learn more? Do they inspire others to do more and become more? Then you are a leader. That's a bold statement. And I love that definition. And the reason why I love this definition is that with what this guy, John Quincy Adams, understood, that leadership should lift and inspire people. You are not a great leader if you are not lifting other people and if you're not inspiring other people. Leadership, I dare say, must lift and inspire people. Leadership must lift and inspire other people. And he's trying to tell us here that if you're a good leader, things should get better for the people around you. Just by you being a good leader, the people around you should grow. Right? I know we come from communities where we don't see those kind of things, but if you are a good leader, things should naturally get better for people around you. Do you guys agree with that? Chat box. As a good leader, people, just by people being around you, things should get better for them. That's the key number one thing about being a good leader. How are the people around me improving? Yeah, he's trying to tell us here, and I agree. Things should get better for people that are around you just by you being a good leader. So the question then is, what makes a great leader? What makes a great leader? What makes this kind of person that Quincy Adams described in this quote? A person that allows others, a person that encourages others to dream more, to be more, to learn more, to do more. What kind of a leader does this? And I believe that that kind of leader that we're looking for, and that you and I should be that kind of leader. That's the kind of leader that you and I want to be. Someone who inspires others to be more, to do more, to learn more, to become more. Great leaders are grounded. We're sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of seeing so many people who are not comfortable in their skin, who are putting other people down and not allowing people rise. And that's because they are not grounded. Great leaders are grounded. They have a foundation that makes them solid. There is a solidness about leaders that last. They are not shallow. They are solid. They are dependable. They are strong. So I'm asking myself in this season, what makes a grounded leader? And I'm asking everyone on this call, because if you're invested in this, you are interested, you are willing to be a committed, grounded leader. So great leaders are grounded. Am I grounded? I started asking myself. Because to be grounded means you have a solid foundation. You're not shaky, you are dependable. You are strong. What makes a leader really have both feet on the ground, solid and anchor, steadfast. And as I've watched those leaders, and I take pleasure in looking at the lives of leaders consistently. I get I get really tripped by good leadership. It does something to me. You know, when we had Brexit, you can say all you want to say about David Cameron, but you see that whole Brexit situation and how within 24 hours all that thing happened has always been, I was never a David Cameron fan, but how he handled that Brexit vote and that Brexit situation, moved quick. Everything was like I was watching a movie. That was the day I gave that guy so much respect. I am tripped by great leadership. So, and as I watch leaders that are grounded, that seems to me that there are three qualities, and I'm going to share these qualities. Well, I will share these qualities in the course of this lesson. There are three qualities that will ground you as a leader. If you're going to go high, guys, if we're going to go high, it's going to be dependent upon your foundation. We all know that. We see that in buildings. How high you're going to go is going to say a lot and what has gone down into the foundation of that building. If you're going to be successful and go high in life, it's going to be because you are thoroughly grounded. Your foundation is solid. And that's what I want to do with this Leadership Academy, because every one of you on this call is going to go high. So let's start prepping the foundations. If there's been anything wrong in the foundations already, let's start correcting it before we start building. It's got to be because you are thoroughly grounded that you have a good foundation. So 3 qualities a grounded leader must have. If we're ready, we're taking notes. 3 qualities a grounded leader must have. Number 1, humility. Humility. If you know me and my personality, that's not one of the first things you're going to see associated with me for haters. But anyway, humility. Consider this definition of humility. I came across and I agree with. It says humility is an everyday choice to credit God for our blessings. This is why I start with gratitude. Humility is an everyday choice to credit God for our blessings and others for our successes. An everyday choice to credit God for our blessings and to credit others for our successes. Guys, whatever I'm teaching today did not just come from my head. It's come from studying and learning from others. Nobody just arrives and thinks they know something. Everything, the clothes we're wearing, everything we are today, the systems we're living in, was as a result of someone else who's laid their life or made something happen or was willing to push themselves for you and I to be where we are today. So we give credit to God for our blessings and we give credit to others for our successes. Humility is that choice I have to make every day. And how do you define humility with that statement? What I think he's saying is humility is understanding your place. You and I need to understand our place, and it's in understanding our place in the light of God and others. So leaders who are graced with humility are confident in themselves. Humility talks about confidence. It's not about reducing yourself. No, leaders who are graced with humility are confident in themselves. They are comfortable with themselves. They feel no need. This is I'm going to play. Just be careful here. They feel no need to draw attention to themselves or their status. You guys know one of the leaders I'm talking about who's just left the scene. You should feel no need to draw, I didn't mention any names, so they feel no need to draw attention to themselves or their status. You know, most of us come from an African home. And you know, when your parents begin to tell you, I'm your father, I'm your father, I'm your father. One day I had to tell my dad that maybe you're not really my father. If you have to keep telling me I'm your father, I'm your father, something is wrong. Something must be wrong, because if you're, and I imagine if that happened now in this time where everybody's doing the DNA thing in Nigeria, and I probably told my father, let's go and do a DNA. You know, you don't need to keep shouting and telling people, I'm the president, I am the best at this, you don't need to. Yeah, if you are good, you are good. If what you are is what you are. Do you understand? Leaders who are graceful with humility, confident in themselves, comfortable, they're comfortable with who they are. Comfortable with who they are. You do not need to draw attention to yourself. You do not need to draw attention to your status. That is it. You don't have to keep telling me I'm your father. I'm your father. I'm your father. You know? And isn't it interesting when I think of humility as somebody that is confident in themselves? They are comfortable with who they are. And so many times we think humility is somehow downgrading ourselves and depreciating ourselves. That's the nonsense we learned in our church systems. That's not what humility is. Humility is not about thinking yourself lowly. Humility is not about downgrading yourself. Humility is not about depreciating yourselves. No, I do not think that is what humility is. I think humility and believe humility is being comfortable in your skin. It's being able to see yourself in the light of God and in the light of others. It's an everyday choice, that definition, an everyday choice where you credit God for your blessings. When I wake up, I'm grateful. When you credit God for your blessings, where you look and credit others for your successes. Now, for me, this describes a person that is really grounded. Is this helping, guys? That is really grounded. They know who they are. They are comfortable with who they are. And I think that people that are humble have a capacity for self-awareness. And they have the capacity for criticism. This is a word we're all afraid of. You should not be afraid of being criticized as a leader. Many times I'm critiquing members of my team and you can see that their backs are raised. No. One of the things that you must take as a leader is criticism. If you're going to grow as a leader, you must get comfortable with criticism. You must get comfortable with being criticized. And that is not where you now begin to bring people down because they criticized you. So a grounded leader is not afraid of being criticized. They don't mind it at all. They are not afraid of having others come across and share with them ways that they could get better. With my music team, I always used to tell them, I am the weakest link in this group. And you think it's funny because my face is what is on the flyer. But I'm actually the weakest link because I make sure I'm surrounded by people who are better than me. In my music group, all the singers are better than me. The instrumentalists are better than me. So I am comfortable with surrounding myself with people who are much better than me. And that is how we grow. You can't be the best in the room. You can't be the one that knows everything. If you're the best in the room, you're no longer growing. So you must be comfortable with surrounding yourself and build teams. Most of the people on my team are better than me. I don't do spreadsheets. I have someone on my team who's better at spreadsheets. I can do project management. I studied project management, but I have somebody who's better in that area. Why am I doing that? I'm not going to be competing with the person in project management. So be me, be comfortable with who I am, being visionary and being the person that brings up ideas. Be comfortable with that. I don't mind people speaking into my life. In fact, most things I do is of the advice of others. Most things I do, I just gather people around it. My idea grows and I run with it. Don't mind at all having others come across and share with me what ways I could get better. Now, Rick Warren one time said, humility is not denying your strengths. Humility is being honest about your weaknesses. And I heard some of you talk about it. Humility is not denying your strengths. It's actually being honest about your weaknesses. When you are humble, you do not go around and say, well, I do not have any strengths. Everybody has strengths. Everyone has strengths. Humility is not about denying your strengths. No, that's not what it is. You have to be very open about the fact and honest about the fact that you have weaknesses. When I see leaders who never talk about their weaknesses, in my opinion, they're not leaders. You have to be honest about the fact that you have weaknesses. Show people your weaknesses. You hear me talk about people who will hear me. I talk about my struggle with food a lot. I talk about my struggle with bread. It's a struggle. It's a real life struggle. It's a real life struggle. And I really do think that it is one of the things that the devil has come to take away from us. Because Jesus said he's the bread of life. That's a joke, but I really don't understand why anybody would not allow us to eat bread. But it's a real life struggle. Bread should not just be, you see, my passion is coming out because bread should not just be about communion. But anyway, so you have to be honest. Have to be honest about your weaknesses. You have to be honest and let people see your weaknesses. You have to be open. You have to be you have to be comfortable with your strengths, but you also need to be comfortable in admitting your weaknesses. You and I need to be the leaders that are comfortable in sharing our weaknesses. And a person that has humility are people who are comfortable with their weaknesses. We're comfortable with, let me phrase that, comfortable with sharing their weaknesses. They are comfortable to talk about it. And listen, they want to get better. Every day I start a new plan. Every day I'm going to go walking or whatever. I fail, but I start again. So I do want to get better. I do want to watch what I eat. right? And things like that. Now they want to get better, but they do not deny that they have weaknesses. That is humility. Every one of us has areas where we're struggling in or struggling with. Another thing I noticed about such leaders is that they especially one of the ones who just left, they revel in their accomplishments and always about their accomplishments. We're the first person that did this, we're the only one that did this, that's not leadership. We need to really get excited about what we're accomplishing, right? But unfortunately, we live in a world where we're always interested in us. You know, I shared this last week. We're always interested in us. And I talked about, I'm sure this is a group where I talked about when you take a picture, right? When you take a picture, who's the first person you're looking for in the picture? When as a group you take a picture, who's the first person you're looking for in the picture?